welcome to Project Geospatial here at the GEOINT 2021 Symposium here in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm here with Adobe. John Lewington?
Yes, I'm John Lewington. I'm an industry specialist with Adobe, and I'm also from St. Louis, so it's a pleasure to be here.
You're from, I had no idea you were from St. Louis.
Yes, I grew up here. My wife's from here as well.
So you even have a vested interest in a lot of the success in this industry here within the city, right?
Yes, I'm an advocate of St. Louis and making it grow and revitalize the downtown area.
Awesome.
So it's a great town.
So before we get into Adobe a little bit, touch on that a little, on your involvement or your thoughts on how St. Louis has exploded into the, we'll call it, trying to be the western hub of geospatial, but has the potential to become the hub for geospatial.
Yeah, St. Louis has had a lot of industry come and go over the last couple years, and I really see the revitalization around technology, especially what I kind of call the future of GEOINT could be here in St. Louis. And it's an exciting place to live. There's a great standard of living. There's cheap homes, great sports teams. So it's a great place to plant roots and raise a family.
Awesome. Going back here to Adobe, why we're here. So talk about, most people know what Adobe is for, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, Acrobat, things like that. How does it involve geospatial? What does it have to do with this community?
So correct, a lot of people know us for Photoshop, PDF, Acrobat, but we're really focused on kind of changing the world through digital experiences. So when you're looking at digital transformation, your web presence online or your intranets, that's where Adobe's really strongest. So we do a lot around digital asset management. So how do you take your assets, manage them, collaborate on them, edit them, and then disseminate them out at scale? Something we call content velocity.
Content velocity. So what is that, can you give me an example of some use cases and how some of your customers have taken that
Sure.
at least as far as this industry is concerned?
Yeah, I think the best use case is oftentimes you have folks that have to collaborate on content, right? It could be a report, for example, collaborating on that content, editing that content, but then how do you create once and publish everywhere, right? So being able to disseminate that at scale, whether it's through a website, through an app, a Kindle, etc., that's how we're helping the community, authoring and sharing of content and then disseminating that out at scale.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit more about what you're bringing to the table at your booth right now.
So we've really focused around, one, we're also doing a joint relationship with USGIF around the Young Professionals Hub. Our solutions are really focused around kind of preparing for the future of work. One around digital asset management. Two, around zero trust architectures. So how do you protect your content inside and outside your firewall in a zero trust environment? As well as also the future of virtual learning. How do you create that persistent classroom online that has a look and feel with different content, but then also how does that transcend physical classrooms too? And also, how do you collaborate on that learning content? That's become more of a struggle as we've been living through this pandemic and people working remotely. How do you disseminate that training content at scale?
So with in the last year and a half, or say 18 months with the pandemic going on, it sounds like not many companies beyond yourselves have been, you all have the expertise basically in these recent times to exemplify that virtual collaborative experience, right? And I'm sure it's been kind of expressed huge interest in helping people succeed where they've been forced to work at home, or these types of businesses have had to do entire cultural shifts in recent months, right?
Yeah, I think we've been really at the tip of the sphere. For us at Adobe, it was really easy to transition internally because we already had a zero trust architecture, and so it was almost seamless overnight, right? We were able to pivot and work from home. I think working with customers, what we've discovered is some of the things that seemed really easy, like signing a document or signing a policy, became incredibly hard to do. And so as industry has looked to digitally transform, being able to sign documents, being able to solve PDF problems at scale in a workflow has become kind of pivotal overnight. And as we're coming out of the pandemic, I think organizations are looking to leverage more of that remote workforce in a better work-life balance, and how they come back into the office will look differently. And so we've been helping organizations kind of work through that and looking at some foundational technology to better have that digital experience, right? How do you communicate with your workforce may not have as been compelling before the pandemic, but that intranet is first and foremost the thing that people see and do and work with and interact with folks.
So, touching on your involvement here with YPG, what was your impression on the young professionals coming in? How's the impact to Adobe? How are you getting involved directly with the young professionals?
So this was really a great opportunity to kind of broaden our partnership with USGIF. At Adobe, we have a focus on creativity for all, and so this was just a great fit with the values of Adobe, as well as the opportunity to expose folks to what Adobe does. Like I said, people know us from Photoshop and Acrobat, but we're so much more in terms of the digital experience. What we're doing with Premiere Pro, most folks don't know that we had the Terminator movie and that technology was leveraged, or special effects. And some of the technology that's relevant from a metaverse perspective, exposing young professionals to different career paths, right? I think from my perspective, I've grown because I've been able to be creative. And I think that's an area that if you're not exposed to, you don't know you can tap into. So we've tried to just broaden people's horizon, both from a professional perspective, like what's career advice, exposing them to tech disruption, exposing them to content and creativity, looking at different training solutions, and so really just giving a whole plethora of career mentoring at this hub that really helps them prepare for the future of work.
Well, and I look at Adobe as a almost a cross-industry company in a lot of ways too, because you're not just digital experience here, that you whether it be movies or graphics and things like that, but in a lot of ways, in my perspective as a traditional geospatial analyst, a lot of your tools and software has a lot of overlap with the imagery analysts and the FMV suites that they can take full advantage of those types of tools as well. So, which in a lot of ways are a lot easier to use than a lot of the traditional tools that they're in place for decades, right?
Yeah, so. That's an important aspect is we have tools today, right? I think what we're here and talking about with customers of where's the future of those tools? Where's tech going, right? And if you want to visualize or have immersive experience, what are the tools you're going to use to do that? Also, from a graphics perspective, like there's new cool technology, Substance can layer in different textures, and so that relates to topographical maps and buildings and other things of how you explain and communicate the content of what you're trying to get across. And so that becomes more and more important, especially in a digital world where we're working through computer screens more and more.
Absolutely. Is there any other message you'd like to relay about either Adobe, what's going on here in St. Louis, or anything that you got that you'd like to send to our audience before we wrap up?
I mean, thanks for the opportunity to explain what we're doing here at USGIF and the YPG Hub. It's been great to engage with the community, be able to travel and be back in person and have some real conversations around preparing for the future of work and changing the world through digital experiences. Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to see everybody here. Nice to see you here. A lot of old faces, and well, 18 months has been long enough, right? So hopefully we'll see you again next GEOINT in 6 months, right?
6 months.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you next month.